CruiseToWork.com. Right now, I'm actually sitting down with Miss Alissa Henry. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I had to make sure I didn't mess your name up.
You got the pronunciation right on the first try.
See? Well, you got a phonetic spelling in your name, so I had to make Alissa. So y'all make sure y'all don't mess that up. We talked about it right before we started though. How was vacation? I know you just came back. What did you guys do?
Awesome. We went on a cruise.
Okay.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
I have.
You have?
Yep.
Did you do Carnival or Royal Caribbean?
Carnival.
Okay, Royal
You
Caribbean.
did Royal?
Did, yeah.
How was it?
It was amazing. We've done 5 cruises so far.
Okay.
And all 4 of them were on Carnival. This one was Royal Caribbean. It was a huge boat, Allure of the Seas.
Okay.
It had a zip line, rock climbing, ice skating,
Nice.
and all on the boat. It was awesome. Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
And you were out there for a week?
We stopped at Jamaica, Haiti, and Cozumel, which the islands are okay.
Yeah.
It's weird to say Haiti because really Royal Caribbean has their own little island.
Right.
So you're not really in Haiti, but it was nice.
Most people on cruises, they say that they like the boat more than they like, docking at,
Yeah, I
whatever
could
place,
just stay on the boat the whole time, but there
Yeah.
were 6,000 people on the boat. So
Are you not nervous after like these last few years or so when it's always something going on with these cruises?
No, because I'm like, if something happens, I'm gonna either get my cruise paid for free,
Right.
I'll get another ticket to go on another cruise later. I mean, there is that weird feeling like if I were to go overboard, it would be over.
Yeah.
It would be a wrap.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I like
Man.
cruising.
That's cool, man. So you're back, getting back acclimated to work this week. Just tell people how you started. I know that I first came in contact with you or saw you, got familiar with you with the CW Star.
Okay.
So if you could just talk a little about maybe what led up to that point, what you did, your background, where you're from, that type of stuff.
Well, I'm from Columbus.
Okay.
So born and raised right here. I went to Harvard Preparatory School for high school. I went to Yorktown for middle school. That's always my like Columbus City school little connection
Okay.
there. I did go to Columbus
Okay.
City for a little bit. But I went to Harvard Prep for high school. Then I lived in Atlanta for like a year in high school, in my junior year, and I came back. And then I went to college at OU for journalism. And then for 3 years after that, I couldn't find a job in TV for like at all.
Really?
I applied so many places. I sent out my resume tape. If they responded, which was probably if I applied for like 25 places, maybe one place responded.
Yeah.
And they denied me. So it was rough. Then I worked for Mayor Coleman's re-election campaign.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Okay.
I love Mayor Coleman.
Yeah.
Then I heard about the CW Star auditions in 2009, but my friend came into town, so I couldn't go to the tryouts, and I always kind of regretted that.
Yeah.
And then 3 years later, when it came back up again, well, when I remembered it coming back up again, it was like 2011. I was driving down 70, like driving past, Hamilton Road has that big, by the mall has that big hotel,
the Fort Rapids,
yes. So I was driving, I was thinking like, man, I really want to get a job in TV. Just driving in the car, praying, talking to God. And I remember the CW Star contest.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to try out this year. So I waited till I got home to look it up on my phone. And then I saw they had auditions at Ohio State, and I was like, Ohio State's too confusing, I'm not going to know where to go. And then I almost talked myself out of it. And then I was like, well, I'll do Polaris, because they had 2 auditions. And so I went to the Polaris audition, and then I made it into the top 25, then the top 10, and then they picked 2 people, me and my colleague Cameron. And we won the contest, which I don't win anything.
Were you surprised, like, when it got down to 25 and then 10? Were you like...
The only reason I wasn't surprised, because I was like, I have a degree in journalism, I know what I'm doing, half these people just want to be on TV. And then also I did, I kind of feel like I went over and above, like I did a blog talking about the experience, which is always risky, because if you put yourself out there, and then you don't win, that's embarrassing.
Right.
But then I thought, what if I do win and all these people are rooting me on the whole time? And that's what ended up happening. But I felt like I put a lot into it. I didn't know I was going to win at all. But I did feel like I had a good chance.
Right.
Because I'm like, I got to be better than at least half the people trying out. There's about like 200 something people that tried out in total. And so, and once I got the top 10, I'm like, whoa, I could really win this. And I wasn't sure, but then I did. So that was good.
Now, did you see yourself, like after you won the contest and everything, did you see yourself staying with the company? I mean, did you see this, since we're kind of years removed from the contest?
No, because when I tried out for the job, it was part-time for a year. That was what the CW Star contest was for 7 years, really. They would pick one person, that person was CW Star for a year. What ended up happening when I tried out and Cameron and I won was that the CW was bought out by a company called Sinclair Broadcasting. It's a long, boring story. I won't go into the whole thing. But locally now, the CW is owned by ABC6 and Fox 28.
Gotcha.
And so they felt like Cameron and I were good as CW stars. There's no reason to invest in people like that and then let them go. So they kind of changed the program. So we're just like the eternal CW stars. And everyone asks, everyone's like, when's the contest? Which is kind of funny because on one hand, I'm like, that's like my job. You know what I mean? Like you're asking me like
Right.
when I'm done with my job, but I understand what they mean, like because it's every year.
It was funny. I was talking to my wife not even a week ago about Cameron, and I totally forgot that he was the CW star. Like I'm so used to seeing him just
Right,
on the news. Yeah, just
yeah,
seeing him now.
Yep.
I didn't realize that he was a star, so that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's how. And he and I knew each other because
Oh.
we go to World Harvest Church together.
Oh, so you knew previous to even.
I've known him for a long time. His wife was at my wedding.
Okay.
My husband used to work with him at World Harvest. I did too for a little bit, but it's weird to like see that now.
Yeah.
Like, we know each other since like 2005. We
Right.
go way back.
And now
But
you
that
guys are
wasn't like
nice.
part of it for the contest at all. It was just coincidence. So.
Now, entertainment is that predominantly your thing as far as your focus and everything?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love entertainment.
So I figured we would keep it light,
Okay.
and kind of talk
Don't
about
try to get
some.
me fired.
Right.
I can't stay at home tonight. Times have changed.
We'll talk a little bit about some entertainment news, some stuff that's going on.
Okay.
The first thing I was going to ask you, I'm going to wait because now I want to talk about yesterday.
Okay.
Did you get to see Melania Trump's speech, or did you hear the?
I did hear about it. I didn't get to watch it. I knew that she was going to speak, and I thought, I was interested to hear how she was going to do. I watch a lot of news. I work in the news.
Right.
So sometimes when it's like a big event, I'd rather just wait and like
Yeah.
see the highlights because I'm going to be seeing them all day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll let them filter out what was good and what wasn't, which I wish I would have watched though, because who knew?
Right.
Who
Nobody.
knew?
And like I said, I turned it off. She was done. And then like 2 hours later, I get back on Twitter and I see the hashtag and all of these quotes, and I'm like confused at first. I'm like, what? So then somebody sends me the video, and it's almost verbatim with her and Michelle Obama. And I'm like, wow.
The only thing I'll say about that is that she obviously had a speechwriter
Right.
who was just a little bit lazy.
Yeah.
Just a
Yep.
little bit lazy.
Figured nobody would go back.
Which, I'm like, in the era of social media, you will always get caught.
Always.
And it's hard because it's easy for, us to say, because
Right.
we're not the ones getting caught. But sometimes, you wonder with people, you're going to get caught. Like, how do you get away with that?
I think that they really just, like you said, just underestimated how much people pay attention. I mean,
Social
like,
media will find you out every time. It was so fast. That's what surprised me.
Right.
Was like that night I was on Twitter. Like I don't even know if she was done speaking
Mhm.
when I saw the headline. That was like she's still part of it. I saw Sean King. Sean King
Yeah.
about it first, saying Jarrett Hill had spotted that, and I was like, man, Jarrett Hill is
and
a rock star.
that's the thing with social media. Nothing is safe. Nothing is off limits. Nothing. I mean, you think you're getting away with something, and
You're not.
Twitter finds out about stuff before law enforcement, news, everything.
They don't find your address, your phone number, your first job. It's amazing.
Now, another thing that's been kind of heavy in the news right now, well, gossip news, I'll say, is the whole rift or beef between Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West. What do you think about it? Because not only this particular situation, but the fact that people say they feel like Taylor Swift is putting on a
The whole
front,
victim
the
thing.
victim thing, the whole act. What do you think about it?
I thought what happened to her, if you want to call something happening to her in 2009, I thought that was messed up. I'm not a huge Kanye West fan.
Right.
I mean, don't at me. I'm not a Kanye West fan. But I just think that he can be so just ridiculous. So I felt bad for her in that sense. Since then, I'm like, girl, let it go. I mean, come on.
You can't ride that. How long are you gonna try to ride it?
And what's weird about that whole thing is, one, I think people underestimate Kim Kardashian. I'm not a big Kardashian fan, but I respect like who she is and what she's done. And everyone's talking about the lawsuit now. I'm like, Kim Kardashian is not getting sued.
Nah.
This woman knows what she is
Yeah.
doing. I don't know how she's not going to get sued, but she's not going to get sued.
She's not worried about it.
No.
I mean, because they knew the video existed months ago, and
Right.
they threatened them, don't put it out or whatever. So for them to put it out, I
Well,
agree
to
with
me,
you.
like, there's a legal team. I mean, working
Exactly.
in media, there's legal teams. And I feel like Kim Kardashian has her own legal team. Plus, I don't keep up with the Kardashian show, but someone did say, I saw on Twitter that episode came out where she was talking about the thing, and then she waited until after the episode aired to release the video, and I'm like, this woman
It's all
is
calculated.
like, I know,
It's
she's
all
never not
calculated.
working. Kim is never, I'm like, wow, I want to be like that calculating and petty. It's like amazing. It's like amazing.
It's definitely
I aspire
petty.
to that.
It's definitely petty.
But I mean, Taylor Swift, she lied in her cause.
And that's, she has to just take that loss, I think. Like,
Right.
don't try to drag it out, and
It'll be interesting to see what
I'm
happens.
very curious to see what's gonna happen
Because
now.
she would very much like to be removed from that narrative.
Yeah, for sure. She definitely doesn't want to be attached to it.
Right.
Now, what do you think about? I had read somewhere recently about Bennifer, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Garner. They were separated. Now they're not. I can't keep up anymore. But those were one of the couples for some reason I was kind of rooting for, I guess.
Really? See, I loved him with J-Lo.
Really?
I'm like the only person.
Yeah, you are.
He was like suave when he was with J-Lo.
He was.
He got with Jennifer Garner, which they had a great marriage, and cute kids and all that. I root for marriage. Yeah. So I would love if they got back together.
Do you think?
I'm talking about Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. Just
okay,
like,
not
J-Lo.
Okay. No. Do you think Hollywood, or how much of a role do you think Hollywood and the celebrity life plays in a marriage, in a relationship, as far as it working?
Well, I think everything's different because for some people who, like, if they're in movies and stuff like that, there's a lot of distance involved. I mean, if you're shooting a movie for 2 years and you're out of town for all that time, that's rough on a marriage.
Right.
Then there's like reality shows, which is a different type of strain on a marriage. I mean, you're married. Imagine just having to talk to your wife constantly.
Right.
Like, you know, I mean, I'm saying like, me and my husband are best friends, but like sometimes we're just sitting on the couch chilling. Sometimes we're not talking. And that's like reality show, they're just constantly talking, and they're constantly like trying to stir up drama to make the show more watchable.
Has to have a story.
It ruins relationships. Did you hear Tamar Braxton and her husband? Which, I mean, she was mean to him. Like,
she was.
I watched that show.
I didn't. Like, my wife watched it, but what the pieces that I would see, she seemed like she was.
I couldn't watch it. She's unwatchable.
Yeah. Well, she lost her job, and
I know. I didn't feel bad about that.
Well, and I guess they were saying something about her husband, because that's her manager too, that he knew prior to it all going down that this was happening. I guess they said, you know, stuff needed to change, or else she would get the boot. And I don't think he ever relayed that information.
Oh, no way.
So you're blurring the line. Well, you know, if it's true, you're blurring the lines of manager, client, husband, wife. If it's not true,
first.
Always.
I don't care if you're the president of the United States.
Always.
Husband first. I mean, I understand like him wanting to do his due diligence as like a manager and do the right thing. But I'm like, that's your wife, bro. If that's true, which that would be really sad. I'm not even a huge fan of Tamar. I like Tamar for the real, because that's like her show.
Right.
But if her husband didn't tell her, that's messed up. Okay. Like, it's husband first.
Always.
Yes.
Husband or wife first. So this one is going to be what I like to call a headline game. So I'm going to read you 3 headlines. Okay. You tell me which one is false out of the 3. 2 of them are true. 1 of them's false. You tell me.
Like the story's true.
The story's actually true.
Okay.
The story's actually true.
Headline.
Okay. So, a woman in Georgia, she sued Six Flags because she got into a water ride, and she got paired up with someone who she said was over the weight capacity, and that it caused the raft to bump.
I can't laugh.
So she's suing Six Flags for injuries because they put her in a tube with somebody that was too big.
Georgia still have a Six Flags. My mom lives in Georgia.
Oh, okay. Well.
So I can wait on that one?
Yeah, stew on that one. And then the next one is there was an electronic benefits card that a lot of seniors were getting. And they were supposed to call the 1-800 number on the back, check their funds. One of the numbers, there was a typo. It was 1 number off. Every time they called, they got some type of sex hotline. And these were senior citizens calling in to get their balance, and they had a sex hotline number. And then the last one, City of New Hampshire. They posted...
Wait, New Hampshire?
I'm sorry. Manchester.
Like,
the city of Manchester in New Hampshire. Okay. They put up a Facebook post saying that there were a lot of Pokemon Go characters down in their booking area, and they tagged about 500 people in it that were all fugitives.
No.
Yeah, they were all fugitives, and they posted, "Hey, come on down. We got a lot of Pokemon Go characters if you guys are interested." And they posted it on Facebook. So you got Six Flags ride, you got the Pokemon Go in New Hampshire, and then you have the missing digit that turned into a sex hotline.
Now I read all those trending topics like on Facebook, you know, the trending topics on the side, and I never heard any of these. I was waiting. I'm like, oh, he's gonna read one that I already know.
Nope.
Darn it.
I purposely.
So one is false.
One of them.
One of them is false. I feel like the Pokemon Go thing. I feel like that one is probably true. That one's true?
True.
I got one. Okay.
True.
Six Flags woman sues the park because she got into a ride with somebody who she thought was overweight.
Yep.
I mean, come on.
That's what she said. She said once they went down the slide, the tube started whipping around, and the weight was going too far to the side, and it hurt. And it hurt her.
That That is ridiculous. Okay, and that's the other one. The other one is
The
senior citizen.
Yep, the benefits card.
One number was off.
Mm-hmm.
EBT though, isn't that?
It's not an EBT. It's an electronic transfer, but it's for their benefits.
Oh,
so
I see.
Yeah,
I see. So it's not
okay.
okay. Oh, which one is false between those two? They're both terrible. I'm gonna say the weight one is false.
The weight one?
You're not gonna sue Six Flags over that.
Nope, that's true.
That's true.
It's true. It's true. The third one was false.
I'm guessing she lost the lawsuit.
It just happened. She just filed suit, so we don't even know what's gonna happen.
That.
Yeah, look it up.
I don't know how small this one was.
Right.
Because I'm like,
people
and
sue
how big
for
was the
anything. You know what? And they didn't put it in the article. I don't think like particulars, but for somebody
they
to
should have. They left out pertinent information.
Yeah, that's petty.
Like, what was the weight difference?
Now, aside from entertainment, just kind of like on current events, lots been going on. What do you say to people who just, sometimes you just need a moment to decompress. You feel like everything is just rapid, everything's happening. What do you say to those people who just are looking for peace? You know what I mean? How can one person or individual, what can they do? What can their part be to try to help some of the tension?
I think sometimes and I work in news, and I love news junkie. Like I said, I read all the headlines inside of Facebook, all the trending topics, but sometimes it is good to just take a break, because I think the good thing about social media is also the bad thing, where stuff that happened 500 miles away seems like it's next door. And sometimes you have to just sit down, and I know this is what I do. Like, I don't know these people.
Right.
These people don't know me. This has no bearing on my actual family, actual friends, actual job, and I think without being, like blind to what's going on, but also not getting so involved emotionally.
Right.
I will say this, I'm not gonna talk about these things, but the Trayvon Martin thing, I got really emotionally involved. Like, you would have thought I knew this guy. I was like so involved, and I think a lot of people were so involved in that. And I think sometimes when you get emotionally involved in situations like that, and then they don't turn out the way you want, a number of things can happen. One, you can be really sad, but also you can get kind of jaded, And I think that you can. I don't know that it sparks as much change as it just sparks like depression, you know. So I think sometimes it's good even in the beginning. I mean, there have been times where I've seen stuff like even like a hashtag, and I'm like not clicking on it,
not today,
not going there, because I'm like, I'm chilling, I'm at home with my husband, we're watching TV, we're chilling. I'm not clicking on this hashtag and ruining my whole day. Because
when you get personally vested into it, like you said, it's hard, especially if it doesn't go the way you want it to go, because then now you feel you're helpless because you're not involved in a situation like this, so you can't do anything about it, and then you're just kind of angry or sad. So I definitely agree with you on that one. Unplug.
And they make it seem like certain things that happen, good and bad, when you hear about somebody wins the lottery, it doesn't make you feel like you're going to win the lottery.
Exactly.
But sometimes when you hear about negative things, it makes you think, oh, I'm going to be next.
That can happen to me.
But the chances are just about the same sometimes, depending on the scenario. And I think I try to keep myself realistic. Plus, I'm a praying person. I always try to read my little Jesus Calling devotional. I have like little devotions on my phone, and like I try to follow things that are positive. And sometimes that stuff again can seem like, well, these people don't care. It's not that they don't care, it's that it's like a positive quotes Twitter page. So that's all they're gonna post, And sometimes it's nice to those people who are constantly like trying to drag you into that. Not that that's a negative thing, but this is what they do for a living. They tweet about this all day. But that's not my living.
There are plenty of people who are fighting a good fight. And we all can't do that every day. So you kind of depend on those people, but then on the flip side, you depend on those people to keep it positive and get some of that, to kind of counteract that crazy.
Because there are people whose job, like I love following Joel Osteen because he's always, I don't feel like he tweets himself, but I like that his Twitter is like always like super positive. I'm actually having the worst day, and he'll be like, today's gonna be a great day. God's gonna change your life. And I'm like, I just love this dude. And I think I think it's important. I kind of look at my husband because he's a lot older than me. Not a lot older. We have a 12-year difference. It's a lot. It's a decade is big, but he is not as like into social media as I am. And this dude is so laid back, and I'm like, see, that's what I need to be. I need to be like way more laid back, because I'm like, I'm riding the wave. I'm like, oh my gosh, this happened and that happened, and I'm curious. I want to know what's going on.
And it's your job too. So.
Right, it's my job. I do it at work. But in that too, you have to be careful, because you can't just tweet whatever you want to tweet, and some people can, and I forget that sometimes. And my Twitter feed is filled with a bunch of people who can say whatever they want to say, and I'm not one of them.
You can't.
So I'm like, sometimes I gotta just highlight all, delete.
I was gonna say, is it hard sometimes? Do you got a lot of stuff in your draft?
There's a lot, right? Oh no, I've like been,
Yeah.
and then been like, not worth it deleting this, because sometimes I feel like I can do more by not sharing what I think all the time.
Right.
In the long run, So sometimes you gotta go there, but when it's appropriate.
Now we talked about a couple of like celebrity Hollywood couples.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give you a list of names, a list of couples.
Okay.
You tell me which one of these couples did not meet on set on a project.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm good at this. So
Okay.
let's see.
So we got Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes.
Did not meet on set.
Did not meet on set.
No.
Okay. Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively.
Met on set. Green Lantern.
Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie.
Oh,
That's
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Met on
easy.
set. He was married. I'm a huge Jennifer Aniston fan.
Okay.
I can't stand Angelina Jolie. Anyways. I would like
Even
to-
now, even 10
I'm not
years
over it.
later?
Like, I feel
No.
like I'm more upset still. Jennifer Aniston's moved on. I'm still upset. I'm still mad. That was messed up.
Well, you're right. You got him. So you're right. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively met on Green Lantern. Now, did you know how Ryan Gosling and Eva?
No, he was with Rachel McAdams. They met on The Notebook. I loved Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams. And one day, I was just on social media and saw Eva Mendes and Ryan
Like,
Gosling
what?
were dating. It's like so random.
Right.
It's the most random couple of all time. I love them both. It's just
Yeah.
a weird couple together, I think.
Okay. Now I'm gonna get a couple of your like favorite things.
Okay.
And then we're gonna finish up.
Okay.
Favorite singer or
Ooh,
entertainer.
It's so cliche to say Beyonce, but Beyonce is the bomb. But that's so cliche to say.
I mean.
Plus,
she
I have
just-
what about different genres? Like,
Yeah.
my favorite gospel, favorite R&B, favorite rap.
Whoever. I mean, if you
But
have a favorite in all those.
If
genres,
Beyonce's on, I'm
then
gonna
she's
watch.
gonna be.
I watched
Okay.
Lemonade. I'm gonna watch.
What about athlete?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Here's the thing. I grew up in Ohio. People love LeBron James. I went to OU with a bunch of Cleveland friends. He went to Miami, did the whole thing. I just never, when he went to Miami and, hurt all my friends,
Yeah.
I never
Then that
forgave
was
him. Still mad at that Brad Pitt. Still mad at LeBron James for what he did to my actual friends.
So
They
basically,
moved on.
Alissa Henry holds grudges. Is that safe to say? Is that what we just say?
I just, you form an opinion of a
And
person.
then that's it.
He hasn't changed it.
Yeah.
Him coming back was great though.
Yeah.
But I love Steph Curry. He has his wife and his kids, and he's a Christian.
They're like
He's
perfect.
I just love him. People hate on him. He's cool. He's nice.
Yeah.
He's nice.
He's like a poster child.
LeBron's
Poster
not
boy.
nice.
No.
When Kevin Love got injured, he's like, we won without him last year. Like, dang.
Like his speech after they won at the parade, I was just kind of like.
He didn't marry Savannah James for how long? I'm like, dude, what is happening? No, but LeBron James is a great athlete.
Yeah.
But I do prefer Steph Curry.
Favorite. We said athlete. We said music. You have a favorite movie?
Oh man, favorite movie. It
What
used to be
movies?
Sex and the City, the first one. I used to love that movie.
Okay.
I also like Morning Glory. I like movies
What is that?
about news. It's Rachel McAdams, and she's like a morning producer.
Okay.
I like shows about movies about news.
Yeah. Did you watch The Newsroom when it was on HBO?
I didn't have HBO at the time, but I did watch the first few episodes. But that's one of those shows you have to sit down
You do.
and watch.
You do.
And I already do that with Scandal, Hollywood Murder, Empire. I can't have another one. I'm maxed
It was a good
out.
show. It was a good show.
I need to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
The episodes I watched were
I
good.
think they only did 2 seasons and they ended it, so you don't have a lot to watch.
Right.
And then we talked. Well, we know how you feel about Jennifer Aniston and.
I love
and
Friends.
Do you have a cutest couple, Hollywood couple right now?
Aisha and Steph Curry.
Oh.
my
Favorite athlete, favorite couple,
I
everything.
love them. No, seriously, when he won MVP last year, because during the finals last year, I was really rooting for the Cavs from Ohio, and my husband was like, "Oh, you're gonna like this player." I used to really like Kevin Durant before,
Yeah.
so he's like, "You're gonna like this player," and I'm like, "Who?" And I'm like, watching, and I'm like, "Oh, he's okay." Like Steph Curry was just okay in the finals. Then he kind of blew up, but then his daughter was in the press conference.
That's enough to win everybody over. That's all I have for you. If you want to tell the people where they can find you on social media, all that good stuff.
I am at Alissa Henry TV on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook.
All right. Well, that's all I have for you. This is Mark G with thegordonexchange.com. This is Alissa
Oh, I
Henry.
got to do things my own way, darling. You should just let me. Where you ever